Yeah, man, it's your boy Arthur once again, and welcome to today's video. And today's video is entitled People Who Run Away from the Truth Always Get Themselves into Entanglements. People who run away from the truth will always get themselves into entanglements. Now, entanglements, really, my definition here is things going haywire, things chaos. Put in a nutshell, it's chaos. If you're not going to embrace the truth, and the truth, what is the truth? The truth is, you know that you have misinformation, right? You are misinformed on certain things, and also you are not willing to dig for the truth. Especially when there is or there are conflicting ideas of what you know. See, some people are so entitled and are so ego-driven that whatever they know, that's it. So, in turn, what they want is the world to turn or bend to what they want the world to be instead of what the world really is. And by this, they're just lying to themselves. Listen, we all are kind of programmed a certain way. We all have misconceptions. We all at times misinformed of certain things, especially some things that are very important, right? But as a man, it's up to us, man, as we grow. Part of growing up is to embrace what is and really reject what isn't. Now, the bigger problem is that most men are not willing to reject what isn't. And they're not willing also to embrace what is. A good example, man, would be Will Smith. That's the best example I can come out with right now. Will Smith, for the longest, he never wanted to see the truth. He never wanted to see what is. According to some rumors, I think about a month ago, he's either divorced by now or he's getting a divorce. I'm not too sure, but either way, he's not the type of man. He's the type of man who's not willing to embrace the truth that who he, the person he's married to, is not. Was not. The best way I can put it is not what he would want her to be, a wife, a feminine wife. She's not. So that's the entanglement that Will Smith has got himself into because he never wants to embrace truth. And this brings me to my next point, that if you're never going to embrace the truth, right, all you're doing is prolonging lies. People who do not, excuse this because it's a bit rainy here. It was raining, so it's, a few drops are coming down. So yeah, as I was saying, if you're not going to embrace the truth, right, all you're doing is prolonging lies. And this is what happened to Will Smith. For the longest, I think everyone was telling him, man, you need to get out of that toxic relationship with that toxic wife of yours. But he was not embracing that because he did not want to come to terms with what the truth is. So all he was doing is prolonging his own lies or his own misconception of what should be. And that's the majority of us, majority of men. But embracing the truth, as bitter as it is, or as bitter as it may be, if you want to grow and you want to advance, develop, and evolve to the best version of you, you cannot do that while embracing lies. Lies set you back. Lies stunt you. Lies do not help you grow. They do not make you grow. They do not help you develop. develop into the best version of you. So I gave a good example of Will Smith, one of the best actors that has been out there as a black actor. But his personal life, especially his marriage, not too good. And partly because, like I said, he's not willing to embrace what should be. So, like I said, we all are sort of in a matrix. This is just a metaphor, right? In a matrix where it's an information age, right? Where there's all sort of information, all sort of knowledge. But again, within that knowledge, within that information, web of information, not everything is straight. Not everything is truth, right? In fact, I'll say a majority of things and majority of people out there are liars. When I'm talking about lying, I'm really talking about deceiving. They're out there to deceive others. You can see this with a lot of Instagram models, a lot of Instagram or influencers, especially these so-called health influencers, the trainers, or those who bring about or have this content of training, right? A lot of them are not actually natural. They tell people that they're natural. Well, in fact, they're not. So you have to know the nuances there and understand that a lot of them are lying to you. There are certain physiques, I usually say this, there's certain physiques that you may not be able to obtain because a lot of it is bullshit. They're on into enhancement. They're enhancing their physiques to get to that peak physique, which a lot of majority of people or a majority of men won't be able without these enhancements. So they tell you that, oh, this is all I get, all I use, I'm just using supplements and shit like that, when we all know that it's not the truth. Some people are now coming out, a lot of them, right? They're going to tell us that, they're telling us rather that they're using TRT, testosterone replacement therapy. Yeah, that's a trend right now. At least, right, because some people have been mentioned out, they've been called out, and then it was becoming too much of a thing that people are just lying. But it still shows that you cannot prolong, you cannot hide from the truth. You can only prolong lies until eventually you are found out. Now, back to our topic at hand. You should embrace the truth because, as bitter as it is, right, it will hurt, right? It will make you feel a type of way, emotional at times, but it can only make you stronger because now the truth that you have embraced, right, it has given you a weapon, a strength of sorts, because now you know how to navigate better. You're not navigating in a sea of lies, or you're not navigating with weapons that are very weak. Lies are weak. That's why weak men are the ones who use lies, smokes and mirrors, right? But the truth is strength. What is, it is what it is. It never wavers about. It's rigid. It's the truth. Flexible but rigid. Right. So, if you don't want to get yourself into trouble, if you don't want to get yourself into entanglement, right? Even in relationships, right? Many people say that you should leave these chicks or women with lies and shit like that. That's bullshit. That just shows that you're not manly enough to tell to tell a woman what you want from her. That's it. Saying that women love being told lies. Yeah, I get it, man. At times, yeah, there are things that you shouldn't tell them, right, up front. It's just like kids. You can't all of a sudden tell a kid that Santa does not exist. You have to let times you have to let them know that, hey, listen, they have to grow into that, right? Because these are kids, right? but you don't go as much as telling them straight out lies, right? You don't. There's certain things that maybe at that moment or at that age they're not supposed to know, so they can just probably enjoy it. But straight out lying about things, right, would always get you into entanglement and not embracing what should be at the right time, especially at the right moment. So this whole thing of relationships should be lies, full of lies, you're only getting yourself into entanglements. And when embracing the truth, that does not only stop in relationships, it stops with who you are. It starts with who you are. You have, like I said, to embrace who you are first. Once you embrace yourself, you're embracing the truth, right? Because you are who you are. Now I know I'm getting philosophical here, but when it comes to truth, right, you should never take things lightly. Because if you're going to have misinformation and filled with lies, because there's so much lies out there, most people do not want others to find out about a lot of things, especially those in power. There are certain things that are hidden from us, right? But you cannot hide that for the longest. You just cannot. The truth will always be exposed. But then you have to understand, you have to be ready with your mindset, with a strong mindset, to embrace the truth and not run away from it. When I began this, when I started out talking here, I did say that people are entitled. A lot of people are entitled, especially women, right? And that, majority of the times because they've been fed lies by men. They'll tell them this, they'll tell them that, and then they expect that every man should act that certain way. But that's far from the truth. Not every man will treat certain women a certain way. Not every man is going to simp for a certain way. Not every man is going to trick. So, embracing the truth. That's the only way forward from now on. In a world full of lies, in a world full of misinformation, as a man, embracing the truth means that you have to dig deep inside to know what you're about, what you're supposed to be doing, and where you're supposed to be going. That's how the truth goes. And there's no such thing as my truth, or your truth, or his truth. The truth is just the truth. That's what it is. If I'm African, that's the truth. It's not my truth, it's just the truth. So, don't get yourself, to wrap up, right? Don't get yourself into stupid entanglements by embracing lies, especially from people who don't understand or do not have a keen understanding of where the world is going or what the world is about. Majority of people don't. That's why you're going to find a lot of people in the average bracket, because there's a lot of things that they're missing out on. Plenty they're missing out on, especially some things that are very much informative and very much truthful. So be careful of who you listen to, be careful of what you listen to, right? What the source is, who the source is, especially the fact that more and more people are coming out as authority on certain things. Relationships, health, and all that stuff. A lot of it could be misinformation. That's why it's up to you. I always say it's really up to you to dig out for the truth, to dig out what the truth is. Do your own research. If you're doubting something, do your own research. And also be practical about things. If someone tells you that certain people act a certain way, don't just embrace that. Go out there and mingle with certain people and to find out if that's the truth. It's just like people who say that women love lies. It's not all women that love lies. All women should be lied to. This is the best way of getting yourself into stupid entanglements, by listening to such people. Who cannot actually tell it as it is. Cutting corners and shit. So yeah, I'm going to stop there, and today's message is all about embracing the truth, right? Growing and developing to the best version of yourself by embracing what is and rejecting what isn't. Making sure that the information and the knowledge that you have is exact, it's precise, right? Doing your own kind of knowledge, research, that is, right? And not just listening to just about anybody. Even if I'm the one who's talking, make sure that you are doing your own research, because I can also be mistaken for certain things, because some things may resonate with me, specifically with me, because of my own personality. And that's another thing. That's another topic for another day. Some people speak on things that are actually for them, and then the way they speak it, because it's so positive, right, and it's attractive, it seems as if it's general. So when you go out and try it, right, and you get a negative feedback, if you don't have a good mindset or a good way of actually analyzing things, you may take that as a negative. But in fact, it's not. So, yeah, I'm going to stop there. I think I've been going on for quite a long time. But just remember, embrace the truth, right? Reject lies, right? Do your own research. And till next time, peace.